The first thing that happens when you stop paying your bills is not dramatic. No one kicks down your door, no alarm goes off, the lights in your apartment still work, your phone still buzzes, and for a few quiet days, it can almost feel like you found extra money. That is the dangerous part. Your checking account looks calmer because rent has not cleared yet. The credit card minimum is still sitting there unpaid, and the car payment has not taken its bite. You buy groceries, maybe fill the tank, maybe order dinner because you are tired of feeling broke. And for one weekend, the pressure lifts. Most people think the punishment for missing bills starts with collectors, court letters, or a wrecked credit score. But the real punishment starts earlier. It starts when your brain learns that avoiding the bill feels better than facing it.
Take
If you
control of
like
your schedule.
calm, honest,
Don't let a
personal finance
machine decide.
breakdowns with real examples, real numbers, and no fake motivation, subscribe to the channel before we go deeper, because this is one of those money topics people whisper about, but almost everyone needs to understand. Here is the honest version. Stopping payment does not erase the bill. It only changes who controls the timeline. When you pay, you have options. When you disappear, the company starts making decisions for you. At first, it is usually small, a late fee, a reminder email, a text that sounds polite but cold. Then another fee. Then the account starts aging into categories that lenders understand very well, even if nobody ever explained them to you. 1 day late is uncomfortable. 30 days late can become a credit problem. 60 and 90 days late start turning a normal bill into a warning label attached to your financial name. And the hardest part is that the bill itself is rarely the whole damage. The hidden damage is what happens after. Higher interest, worse loan terms, denied apartments, bigger insurance premiums, a future car loan that costs thousands more because one season of survival turned into a credit file full of scars. Let me tell you about Marcus. He is 29, works full-time, makes decent money, and still feels like every paycheck has already been spoken for before it lands. Rent, car payment, insurance, credit card balance, student loan, subscriptions he forgot he had, and a grocery bill that somehow feels personal now. One Friday, Marcus decides he is done. Not forever, he tells himself. Just this month. He skips the credit card payment because the minimum feels useless anyway. He skips the medical bill because the envelope looks confusing. He lets the utility bill ride because they probably will not shut anything off that fast. And for the first time in months, he has breathing room. Monday comes and nothing happens. Tuesday comes and nothing happens. Marcus starts to feel stupid for being so scared. Then the first late fee hits, and it is only $35, which almost feels manageable. That is how the trap gets its foot in the door. It does not look like disaster yet. By the second week, the emails change tone. The credit card company stops sounding like a friendly app notification and starts sounding like a file being prepared. The medical bill gets a reminder. The utility company adds a warning date. Marcus tells himself he will catch up next payday, but next payday already has a job. Rent is due again. Gas is more expensive than he expected. His car insurance auto-drafts. His phone bill clears. And now he is not just paying normal bills. He is paying normal bills plus last month's unpaid bills plus late fees. This is the part people miss about not paying bills. You do not just pause your financial life. You create a second version of it that starts chasing the first one. One paycheck is trying to cover 2 months. One tired person is trying to solve a problem that got bigger while he was avoiding it. Marcus thought skipping payments would give him breathing room, and for a moment it did. But what actually happened was that he borrowed peace from next month, and next month charged interest. The common belief is that people miss bills because they are careless. Sometimes that is true, but a lot of the time, people miss bills because they are exhausted. They are living inside decision fatigue, where every envelope feels like another small accusation. The real problem is not just budgeting. It is emotional pressure. When a person feels cornered, they stop making clean decisions. They make pain relief decisions. They pay the loudest bill, ignore the confusing one, promise themselves they will handle the rest later, then feel ashamed when later arrives with interest. And after a few months, the damage becomes less private. The account may be reported late. the credit score can drop. A closed account can move to collections. The phone calls start, the letters get heavier, and suddenly a bill that used to be between you and one company now feels like it is following you around town. Comment traps below if you want the free checklist. I'll put it in the pinned comment so you can spot which bills, fees, habits, and cash flow leaks might be quietly pulling you into this cycle before it turns into a credit repair problem. Here's where the story gets uncomfortable. Not all bills hurt you the same way when you stop paying them. Missing a subscription is annoying. Missing a credit card payment can scar your credit. Missing rent can threaten your housing. Missing a car payment can threaten your transportation. Same word, bill, completely different level of danger. The rent bill sits at the top of the danger list because housing is not just a payment, it is the roof over your nervous system. If rent falls behind, the problem can move fast, and even before anything legal happens, the stress changes how you sleep, how you work, and how you talk to people you love. The car payment is different but almost as serious in America because for many people, the car is not a luxury. It is the thing that gets them to work. Miss enough payments and the lender may not care that you need the car to earn the money to pay them back. On their spreadsheet, the vehicle is collateral. Credit cards are sneaky because they feel less immediate. Nobody takes your couch on day one because you skipped a minimum payment. But the balance grows. Interest keeps chewing. The credit score starts reacting. And the account that once felt like backup becomes a machine that charges you for being behind. Medical bills have their own kind of confusion. The statement arrives with codes, discounts, insurance adjustments, and numbers that look like they were printed by 3 different companies arguing with each other. A lot of people ignore them not because they refuse to pay, but because they do not understand what they are actually being asked to pay. Student loans can feel distant until they are not. They sit in the background like old weather. You tell yourself you will deal with them when your income is higher, when things calm down, when you finally understand the repayment options. But ignored debt has a way of becoming louder at the worst possible time. Utilities and phone bills may seem smaller, but they are part of your survival system. Electricity, heat, internet, and a working phone are what let modern life function. When those fall behind, the damage is not just financial, it is practical. It makes everything else harder. Then there are subscriptions, overdraft fees, buy now, pay later plans, small app charges, and forgotten memberships. They do not look dangerous one by one, but together they become financial background noise, quietly training your paycheck to leave before you ever decide where it should go. Here is the psychological trap. When money gets tight, your brain starts sorting bills by fear, not by strategy. The loudest company gets paid first, the most confusing bill gets ignored. The bill with the kindest tone gets pushed aside because it feels safe to disappoint them. This is why people can know the right thing and still do the wrong thing. Survival mode narrows your vision. You stop planning 6 months ahead and start trying to survive until Friday. You are not thinking about credit score explained in some clean classroom way. You are thinking about gas, groceries, rent, and whether your card will decline in front of someone, and social comparison makes it worse. Marcus sees friends taking weekend trips, coworkers upgrading cars, people online talking about quiet wealth and investing tips, and he feels like the only adult in America who cannot keep the basic bills straight. Shame enters the room, and shame is expensive because it makes people hide from the numbers that could actually help them. Think about unpaid bills like a leak behind the wall. At first, the floor looks dry. The kitchen still works. You can walk past it and pretend the house is fine. But inside the wall, pressure is building where you cannot see it. By the time the stain appears, the damage is already older than the stain. That is what missed payments do. The phone call is not the beginning. The collection letter is not the beginning. The real beginning was the first moment you decided not to look. And I do not say that to shame you. I say it because looking early is cheaper than looking late. A 5-minute phone call when a bill is 10 days late can sometimes do more than 3 months of panic after the account has already been charged off or sent somewhere else. Credit card debt is the anchor in this story. Not because credit cards are evil, but because high interest turns delay into fuel. If Marcus owes you $3,000 and keeps missing payments, the balance does not sit politely in the corner, waiting for him to feel ready. It grows while he sleeps. It grows while he works. It grows while he tells himself he is bad with money. And the cruel part is that the shame makes him avoid the account, while the avoidance gives the account more room to grow. Cash flow is the bucket. Bills are the holes. Income is the water. Most people respond to a leaking bucket by praying for more water. And sometimes, yes, more income helps. But if the holes keep getting bigger, every raise just gives the leaks more to steal. That is why budgeting for beginners is not about becoming cheap or miserable. It is about seeing the holes clearly. The rent hole, the car hole, the insurance hole, the food delivery hole, the debt hole, the forgotten subscription hole that keeps smiling at you for $12 a month. Once you see the holes, you can stop treating every bill like a random attack and start ranking them by consequence. Shelter first, transportation if it protects income, utilities, food, insurance, minimum payments on anything that can damage credit or trigger bigger problems. Then the rest gets negotiated, reduced, paused, or cut. Comment checklist below if you want the simple bill priority checklist. I'll leave it in the pinned comment so you can sort your own payments by real danger, not by panic, guilt, or whichever company sent the scariest email that morning. Now let's talk about what you actually do if you are already behind, because this is where people make one of two mistakes. They either pretend everything is fine, or they try to fix everything at once and burn out by Wednesday. Neither one works. First, open every account and write down the truth without trying to fix it yet. Amount owed, minimum payment, due date, days late, interest rate, consequence if ignored. This is not punishment. This is turning fog into a map. Second, call before the account gets worse if you can. Ask for a hardship plan, a payment arrangement, a due date change, a fee waiver, or a temporary reduced payment. Not every company will help, and some will barely pretend to care, but silence almost never gives you a better deal. Third, protect the bills that protect your life and income. Housing, transportation, utilities, food, insurance, and anything that keeps you working come before lifestyle payments. That sounds obvious until panic enters the room and convinces you to pay the loudest bill instead of the most important one. Fourth, stop adding new holes to the bucket. This is where money management tips get very unglamorous. Cancel the quiet subscriptions. Pause the apps. Stop using the credit card as emotional oxygen. Eat simpler for a while. Sell the thing you keep saying you might use someday. Fifth, build a payday routine that happens before your mood gets a vote. The day money lands, the essentials get assigned first, then minimums, then food and gas, then a small emergency buffer, even if it is only $20. What matters is not the amount at first. What matters is proving to yourself that money can stay. The deeper lesson is that unpaid bills are rarely just about money. They reveal what happens when fear becomes your financial manager. Fear avoids. Fear delays. Fear pays the wrong thing first. A calm plan may not make the numbers easy, but it puts you back in the chair. The goal is not to pay every bill perfectly forever. The goal is to stop letting one missed payment turn into a whole identity. So ask yourself where the real leak is. Is it the car payment that was too large from day one? The rent that leaves no margin? The credit card balance you keep calling temporary? The subscriptions you barely notice? Or the shame that keeps you from opening the account until the damage is already expensive? Comment traps below and check the pinned comment. I'll leave the free checklist there so you can rank your bills by urgency, spot the hidden cash flow leaks, and start cleaning up the mess without pretending you have to fix your whole life in one night. Because the day you face the bill is usually not the day your financial life falls apart. Most of the time, it is the day you finally stop letting the fear charge interest.